Before my father breathed his last, he handed me to a social climbing opportunist and signed the family company over to him. 5 years of marriage later, the man showed up with his pregnant first love and laid his cards on the table. "Sophie, let's divorce. I'll give you half of everything." I didn't bat an eyelash. I signed the divorce papers, turned around, and had the other woman's pregnancy terminated. Then I paid a visit to his biggest rival. Time to close the net. Yes, my queen. Dogs, after all, are better when they know how to heel. 01 My union with Leo had nothing to do with love. Both of us knew that from day one. Leo was the son of my father's army buddy. According to the colonel, they'd slept in bunk beds at the base and sworn the kind of brotherhood forged in drill smoke. After discharge, the colonel rode the wave of government subsidies and market timing to build Vance into a sector titan. Leo's father, weighed down by sick parents in a dirt-poor county, had gone home to care for them. When they met again, one man stood on a penthouse terrace, the other lay in a county clinic cot. I first saw Leo in the 2-story house his family had cobbled together, respectable by village standards, thanks to their military ties. The moment I stepped inside, I said, without pity, "What a dump." The look Leo gave me is still burned into my memory, humiliation laced with defiance, rage threaded through hurt. He only glared, silent. We hadn't come for small talk. The colonel was there to bring Leo home. His dad was dying of liver cancer. Only desperation had pushed him to dial the colonel's number and spend the last of his pride buying his son a future. So at 15 Leo moved into the Vance estate and grew up beside me. 02 Leo and I never found a rhythm. He stole too much of my father's affection. Maybe to atone for the life his old comrade never had, the colonel treated Leo like the son he'd always wanted. Same clothes, same allowances, same impunity, only Leo's whims were indulged faster. I retaliated, overtly and in whispers. Leo swallowed every insult, which only egged me on. Because I froze him out at school, the taunts and shoves found him daily, and I never once intervened. But Leo wasn't prey, he was a snake in tall grass. My grades were mediocre at best. When you're born in Rome, you don't fret over carriage wheels. I played hard. The colonel, ex-military to the marrow, despised my dilettante act and adored Leo's report cards. One afternoon I was making out with a new fling in the stairwell when Leo barged in, lip split and shirt torn. The next day an anonymous message landed on the colonel's phone, a crystal-clear photo of me kissing the boy. No questions asked, the colonel had me whipped. I didn't make a sound, I knew Leo had taken the shot. When I limped out of the study, he was lounging in the living room, a thin, poisonous grin finally slid across that hypocrite's face. I wanted to carve it off, and I did, in a way. I walked over, tipped a scalding cup of tea over his head, and leaned in with a whisper. "You look pale. Let me warm you up. Don't croak early like your daddy, life would be so boring without you." Leo snapped. His hands clamped around my throat, breath ragged, eyes blood red. The hatred pouring out of him felt better than champagne. "Leo, you live in my house. That makes you my dog forever." That was the first time I saw him lose control. Using his dead father was low, even for me, but the gutter rat had started to forget he was only a chicken wearing peacock feathers. 03 After that, Leo grew docile, as though the scene had calibrated his place. He buttered me up, shared rides, tutoring when I was sick, soup at my bedside. For a spell I actually wondered if the mutt had developed a crush. Ungenerous to tamed animals, I stopped baiting him and quietly shut down the campus bullying. Life got easier for us both. The truce held until college, then the colonel crashed his car and died. Panic blanked my mind. Leo stepped in and orchestrated the funeral, calm and impeccable. Grief softens judgment. I was grateful, almost fond. So when the will was read, I didn't object. The colonel wanted me to marry Leo and place Vance in his care. He'd always known I wasn't built for boardrooms. I'd studied art, not arbitrage. Bringing Leo home had been succession planning in disguise. Leo didn't hesitate. He said yes on the spot. We married. The wedding was a fairy tale spectacle: gilded aisles, orchestras, fountains of youth. For a moment the shimmer fooled me into thinking we might be happy. Until he murmured in his drunken sleep, "Jade." 04 My memory of Jade was hazy, a barefoot kid chasing our SUV when we collected Leo from the village. She'd sent him parcels afterward, I'd paid no attention. Hearing that name on my wedding night felt like swallowing cut glass. The next morning Leo beamed, sheepish and affectionate. "Happy first day of marriage, Hawthorne." "Sorry, the guys got me wasted." Had I not heard the slurred confession, I might have melted. Instead I flashed back to his hands on my throat and realized the viper had simply learned to hide its fangs. I smiled, waved him off to work, and hired a private investigator. Within days I held Jade's life in a folder. 2 years younger than us, mother fled, father a violent drunk. Neighbor Leo had played guardian. Whenever the beatings started, he'd smuggle her to his house. After he left, Leo wired money, but the cash never outran her father's thirst. Then an anonymous benefactor stepped in, tuition paid, debts cleared, father pacified. The sponsor was the colonel. I summoned Uncle once, the colonel's driver, still my ears and wheels. He confirmed it. The colonel began sending checks the year after Leo arrived, intrigued by the letters Leo kept mailing back. Does Leo know? He knows. I studied the remittance dates exactly when Leo's tail-tucking charm offensive had begun. So every kindness had been a ploy, all for Jade. I picked up the phone and dialed her number. After a few rings she answered. "Hello, who's this?" Her voice was soft and sweet, the kind that hooks men. "I'm Leo's wife." Silence dropped like a curtain, I could almost hear her breathing sharpen. "Let's meet." 05 I asked Jade to meet at the cafe near her campus. She was already there when I arrived. A glance at my watch told me I was half an hour late. "Sorry, parking was murder." The apology came out flat. In person she was even prettier than in the pictures, fragile, waif-like, a modern-day consumptive heroine. When she looked at me her eyes held a stubborn defiance. I ordered dessert, she asked for black coffee. I stayed quiet, so she did too. When my cake arrived I ate slowly, watching her wrinkle her nose at the bitter coffee she clearly hated yet forced down to look grown up, such an awkward child. "I'm married to Leo." "You knew that, right?" Sugar replenished, I saw no point in small talk, I'd come with a goal. She hadn't expected me to open so bluntly and flinched. "I didn't know." "Well, now you do." My calm amazed her. She knew she and Leo were already past friendship and short of love, and selfishly she wanted to keep him, so when Sophie contacted her she'd felt both guilty and thrilled, but Sophie's composure now unsettled her. "Leo and I are nothing. I'm just grateful to him. If he hadn't moaned your name on our wedding night, I might believe you." I caught the flash of delight in her eyes. "And you should be grateful to me, not Leo." I pushed the sponsorship ledger across the table. Still dizzy from discovering Leo's feelings, she blinked at me, confused. She picked up the printout. Every transfer was logged, every cent came from the colonel, my father, not Leo as she'd always thought. "If Leo hadn't existed, you wouldn't have bankrolled us." To Jade, Leo had long been her salvation, childhood kindness, then steady checks in the mail, so even after learning he was married she was willing to be the other woman, inventing excuses with bullheaded pride. True, Leo played the white knight routine with our money. "His kindness to you is none of my business, but my family's is, and you can't deny it." "What do you want?" "Whatever you and Leo had, I don't care. Whatever you two do from now on, I also don't care." She stared, stunned by my bluntness. "Jade, I have one rule. From today, you report every single contact with Leo to me." 06 I won the negotiation. When I stated my demand Jade shot up, cheeks burning, calling it humiliation. I caught her wrist and warned her, "Refuse, and the monthly wire to her family stops tonight. Her drunk of a father will drag her down with him. Accept, and I'll handle the deadbeat for good." Predictably, she caved. People are selfish, so-called worship and love always lose to self-interest, especially for a girl abandoned by her mother and beaten by her father, someone who never believed in romance to begin with. We added each other on WhatsApp and agreed she'd send a message visible only to me whenever she met Leo. That was how my surveillance began. Sure enough, once Leo felt his seat at Vance was secure, he reached out to Jade. Publicly, he remained the perfect, doting husband. One night, after I'd turned him down in bed yet again, he finally probed. "Sophie, let's have a baby." Glasses on, hair slicked back, he looked every inch the suave executive. He was handsome enough, the interns still gossiped though they knew he was taken. "Leo, I'm not having children with you." "What's wrong, Soph? What do you think?" My sternness pricked his conscience, but his acting was flawless. He joked as if nothing were amiss. "Let me guess, office gossip again?" The girls chatter. "Lately we've hit a snag. I didn't want to worry you." "I knew the snag because I'd engineered it." "What snag?" "A 2-bit startup stole a project." At that he raked a hand through his hair, irritated, and I savored every ounce of his frustration. "Then why are you thinking about sex?" "The board isn't exactly relaxed." The barb struck home. Since taking over, Leo had battled skepticism. Stabilizing morale had taken months. Losing a mid-tier contract, though hardly fatal, handed his critics ammunition, and it was all going according to my plan. "Leo, I will leave you with nothing." 07 The startup he mentioned was mine. It was tiny, more a student clique than a company for college kids burning the midnight oil. What I wanted was their drive and their tech. They'd been sweeping undergraduate competitions, the industry already whispered about them. I first saw them backstage at a pitch contest, begging VCs for seed money while Leo was off playing Prince Charming to his white moon. Their presentation blew me away. When I spotted the kid who led them, face red, stammering please into a phone, I decided to strike. "Kid, I'll write you a check, work for me." Adrian later claimed a midget in business drag had kicked him off his own soapbox. I kicked him off the bed too, but that came later. At the time he was tame enough, and I became the silent owner overnight. My sole objective was to use the company against Leo. He'd shadowed Vance since high school and had held the reins for 2 years, a loyal faction sang his praises, yet gratitude to the colonel's family was the last thing on his mind. He nursed resentment, a viper set to swallow everything we owned. These past years I'd devoured finance texts and management courses, desperate to reclaim what was mine, but I knew I couldn't topple him alone, so I found Adrian. We'd actually met before, though I didn't recognize him. Our families had old ties, an infant betrothal may even have been mentioned, and I might once have rocked him in my arms. Then his folks went bankrupt and moved away, contact severed. Only when I pulled his file did I realize Adrian had been my intended boy bride. Romance, however, was off the table. I said nothing, focused only on crushing my bargain bin husband. I poured resources into Adrian, cultivating a rival capable of bloodying Leo's nose, and he delivered. Within a few years his ragtag outfit had become the sector's dark horse, its wunderkind CEO a constant thorn in Leo's side. Watching Leo grow ever more harried felt like fireworks in my chest. But that alone wasn't enough. People only feel real pain when they crash from the highest peak. 08 Adrian and I were designing a trap, an invitation to walk straight into the snare. Only lately Adrian had been off. He'd turned a little, how to put it, flirty. Adrian's brand of charm has always been accidental. He's pure golden retriever energy. Those clear puppy eyes of his tell me he doesn't actually picture me that way. For years we've simply been solid partners, taking MBA electives together, grabbing dinner, weekend road trips. Leo even started telling people I was bankrolling a pretty college boy. But recently Adrian keeps chirping big sis" around the office until half the staff is convinced he's kept by some loaded cougar. That night happened to be our 5th wedding anniversary. Leo texted that the boardroom was swamping him and never came home. 5 minutes later Jade posted a candlelit table on Instagram set to close friends, meaning only me. In truth, we've been acting the happy couple for ages. He can't be bothered to fake the devoted husband act anymore, and I enjoy the silence. No one wants a daily eyesore performance. I've let Jade meet Leo whenever she pleased, and she always reports back, sometimes flaunting the bags and jewelry he buys her. She thinks the boasting stings me, it actually makes my day. A woman who sells herself for price tags is the cheapest bargain on earth. I WhatsApped Adrian and told him which restaurant to meet me at. With a little stage managing, the four of us, Adrian, Leo, Jade, and yours truly, enjoyed the meet cute of the century. I still crack up thinking about it. Leo jerked so hard he overturned his wine, but the Oscar winner recovered fast, gliding over with a syrupy honey bunny. Behind him, Jade looked like she'd bitten into a lemon. She assumed I'd staged a raid. Wrong, I was just there for dinner. Knowing he was cornered, Leo came up first, guilty as charged. Client dinner? I didn't puncture the lie. Exactly. Let me introduce the project lead, Jade. Jade and I traded a secret glance, shook hands like polite strangers. I tugged Adrian over. And this is my study buddy, Adrian. Of course Leo recognized him. Adrian has spent 3 years blocking his deals. The idea that we might lunch together was a sucker punch. First time running into you off hours, Hawthorne, such diligence, Adrian chirped, hand extended. Praise or poison, the result was the same. Leo turned puce. You get back to it, darling. Adrian booked us a private room, see you later. I swept Adrian away before Leo could dig. My goal wasn't a screaming match, just the spark that lights the fuse. 09-inch Sophie, you called me Adrian just now. Say big sis. Big sis, you used my real name back there. Problem? The puppy tilted his head. You're weaponizing me to needle Leo, aren't you? Bingo. Overkill much? Look at me, fresh, ripped, clearly superior merchandise. Let me kick him to the curb for you. I'd been scrolling Insta. His pitch made me look up and scan him. Sunny, handsome, zero grease, broad shoulders tapering to narrow hips, first-rate goods. Still, he'd never joked like this before. Stop hamming. Half your staff already thinks you've sold your body. Adrian just grinned. I'm serious. Your husband's cheating in plain sight. Sure he is. Haven't I just rented myself a college boy? I rubbed his head like a bored housewife petting a spaniel. You know he's cheating and you still won't divorce him. He dropped his voice to a stage whisper. Let me off the guy for you. I cuffed him. He went quiet, eyes wounded. Adrian, divorce isn't enough. I want the old, penniless Leo back, everything he gained through me, I'm taking. He knows my temperament, jokes are fine, but on business Adrian obeys me 100%. Women terrifying species, he muttered. I laughed and patted his crown. Sophie, serious talk, I've been out of college 2 years now. Quit patting my head. I'm a certified alpha male. Why do you keep treating me like a labradoodle? He dragged my palm to his chest. I obliged and squeezed. Nice rack, kid. If your ears weren't glowing red, you might persuade me you're a big boy. 10. I didn't linger with Adrian. I went home, certain Leo would slink back tonight. Sure enough, he was planted in a pitch-black living room. Sitting in the dark to save on the electric bill, Mr. COO? Company profits that dire? I've never bothered with courtesy in private, especially the past few years. Sophie, can you drop the sarcasm for once? Not exactly a new habit, Hawthorne. Why the sudden critique? Shouldn't you be pulling an all-nighter with your client? He finally remembered why he'd crawled back. Soph, it isn't what you think, strictly business. Sitcom writers would reject that line, apparently Leo wouldn't. Real client or imaginary mistress, do you imagine I care? His brows snapped together. He hadn't expected me to gut the farce so openly. We used to be good together, didn't we? Leo, passing up Hollywood was a crime. When exactly were we good, Leo? Your father wanted us to be, Sophie. Had the old man kept his eyesight, I'd never have shared oxygen with you. I've tried reason, he snapped, mask finally off. If you insist on playing Ice Queen, don't hide behind the Colonel's ghost. Behave, and I might let you live out your days as a pampered trophy wife. There it was, Dad's rescued mongrel showing fangs. You're still the gutter rat the Vance family dragged in every shred of glory you wears on loan from us. He laughed, slow and ugly. And right now every shred of the Vance empire belongs to me. Trading insults with Leo always costs me, but watching the veins throb at his throat told me mission accomplished. I'd hit the nerve he hates most, his wretched origin. I quietly reached out to some of the colonel's old loyalists, including the board members who'd been grumbling loudest, and told them I intended to replace Leo. The old foxes were too shrewd to commit, only one or two declared outright support, while the rest watched from the riverbank, murmuring that the company should land in capable hands. Leo, naturally, has his own web of contacts. The minute he heard I'd been dining with directors, he read the signal. He came home spoiling for a fight, and this time our Cold War detonated in full view of the staff. I dropped the act for good, opposing him at every turn. With pressure pouring in from every side, his hunger for a quick win made the trap inevitable, and I waited, patient, while he stepped deeper into the snare. For the past month Adrian has practically lived on planes, shuttling across the states. Half the act is showmanship, headline-grabbing site visits to Helios, the megaproject designed to dazzle Leo. The other half is misdirection, inflating the buzz so no one smells the setup. The schedule is brutal, yet he still calls me like clockwork, cursing me for being a slave driver while gossiping about nothing and everything. After a while the ritual tastes like family dinners when the colonel was alive. Boss, come keep me company. These burgers are criminal, I need real Sichuan food. The message lands the second my plane touches down. The kid fires off hundreds a day, I don't know when he actually works. I can't cook, so I'd be useless. That's just an excuse. Even a burger tastes like heaven if you're eating it with me. You talk too much. Are you working? Look super focused, he replies, flinging a zoomed-in conference photo my way. Cocky brat. Docking your pay. Slacking right under the boss's nose. He answers with a looping gif of a dancing puppy. I pocket the phone, I'm already outside his office. Adrian walks in mid-call, freezes, sniffs once. Sophie? Bloodhound, I say. His face lights up like Times Square. Gone is the unflappable wunderkind the engineers know. He bounds over, a giant golden retriever in a tailored suit, burrowing his shaggy head against my shoulder. What are you doing here? Conducting an inspection. Perfect. I'm busting you out, this city bores me to tears. I came to work. Where do you want to go? He obviously hasn't heard a word. Fine, indulge him. All right, field trip. You pick. Wherever you want. So we spend 12 days playing hooky across the states, then board the return flight together. Leo has a welcome home surprise waiting, a full-page spread of Adrian and me sightseeing, headline screaming Vance heiress cheats with college boy TOY, 8-hour hotel tryst. A quick scroll shows Leo even paid for a trending hashtag. Really, Leo? Gutter tactics? Adrian's phone erupts the moment we land, friends roast him for becoming a kept freshman. For once he doesn't banter back. His jaw tightens as he fires off calls and thumps the screen, fury in plain sight. I'm unfazed, I'm no celebrity, and scandal fizzles fast. Still, being the punchline irritates me. Retribution is mandatory. Before I lift a finger, Adrian storms onto Weibo, registers a verified handle, and tags the rag outright, not a college kid. Just a friend though, I definitely have a crush. The owner of the rumor mill stepping into the ring sends the crowd wild. Some ship us for sport, others rage about morals collapsing. Adrian, you know I can't answer you right now. Years at my side have made comfort effortless, lately the air between us has turned electric. His feelings are obvious. I get it. My feelings don't need reciprocation. I only want you shining. I'll be your knight, clearing every roadblock. It's the first time he spelled it out, solemn and unguarded. Leo's sleazy stunt finally provoked him, he attacks anyone who wounds me on reflex. Adrian, Leo is mine to finish. You handle what's left. This time we'll return the favor in spades. Buzz. An incoming call, Jade. She's never dialed me before. Hello? Silence, then her trademark soft voice. Sophie, I'm pregnant. Leo's. Well. Leo, your gift just arrived gift wrapped. 13 Jade asks to meet, so I book a private room at Onyx. We never socialize, seeing her again, I find the girl who once fidgeted is gone. She greets me like the lady of the manor. Sophie, have a seat. I roll my eyes mentally and take the opposite side of the massive round table. The void between us turns glacial. Her bump hasn't shown, she's still reed slender, fragile only in appearance. She slides a sonogram across the lacquer like a trump card. If I loved Leo, she might have one. Unfortunately, Leo isn't worth a single sigh from me. I study the image calmly. Healthy, looks like. The doctor says so too. She strokes the invisible bean, already gorging on borrowed motherhood. So why summon me? Sophie, I just want a complete family. Please give us your blessing. With her big eyes and quivering lips she nails the ingenue role. A complete family? No problem. Leo and I will be divorced soon. Disbelief floods her face, she expected a siege, not an open gate. Jade, I had no idea domestic bliss was your holy grail. I savor the irony. For years she's texted me behind Leo's back, love, really? Sophie, you know my past. You know what Leo means to me. She plays the romantic martyr, I don't buy the ticket. Even if Leo leaves with nothing? Of course. Leo will build something new, whatever it takes, she fires back, voice shaking anger at my doubt or fear that I'll leave him penniless. You poor kids are so naive. Once Leo walks out, he gets $0, 0 office, 0 industry invites. I'll blacklist him from every boardroom from here to the coast. He can drag you back to that rotting row house, drink cheap beer with your drunk of a dad all day. Your baby will grow up just like Dash. You shut up. I hit the nerve, the mask cracks, terror gushing through. Her victory dissolves in real time. Jade, you're priceless, handing me proof of Leo's adultery. I flick the medical report she delivered. Thanks for the ammunition. No please, I don't want that life. Tears streak her cheeks, childhood ghosts swarm her eyes. Then do me a favor, and I'll guarantee you never see those shadows again. What? The next time I saw Jade, Leo brought her to the door himself. His face was all caution as he helped her across the threshold, her belly already rounding so much you'd think she was about to pop. Leo felt like everything was finally going his way. Adrian had bowed out of the Helios project under his pressure, the launch was making headlines, the stock was climbing, and the board had stopped barking. Best of all, he was about to be a father. He'd always craved a real family of his own. Sophie had never been his kind of people, and Jade was the perfect fit. This was the perfect moment to ask Sophie for a divorce. Sophie, you know we don't love each other. I found the person I truly love. Let's set each other free. A long-term affair dressed up as true love. Leo, shame really isn't in your vocabulary. When I didn't answer, he assumed I was going to fight to keep him. I just wanted to see how low he could sink. Sophie, Jade is carrying my child. So? Let's divorce peacefully. I'll give you half of everything. You'll never have to worry about money again. Sound good? He made it sound like a favor. The nerve. Leo, you must think I'm stupid. Everything at the Vance estate is already mine. Half? On what grounds do you dare offer me half? Sophie, Vance can't run without me. Do you even have a seat at the table anymore? I'm the one in power. His sly, shameless side no longer bothered with camouflage. He still believed I was the same good-for-nothing sophomore. Sophie, sign the divorce papers. He flung the documents at me without a shred of courtesy, then turned to leave, Jade in tow. Jade hadn't said a word the entire time, silently watching the fireworks between Leo and me. As he pulled her away, she glanced back. I gave her a small nod. Leo, it's time to close the net. Leo, don't underestimate me. 15 After handing me the divorce papers, Leo stayed away for a long while. His world was already collapsing. The project he'd bet on had, under Adrian's quiet steering, soared to its peak then cratered. Before Leo could blink, Vance was drowning in debt. The board exploded, Leo himself was dazed, and the old guard tore into him. He had no way out. By the time he traced the sabotage back to Adrian and finally to me, ages had passed. I hadn't even bothered to hide, he simply refused to believe I had the muscle to bury him. When he came to find me, the shine was gone, shirt wrinkled, stubble shadowing his jaw. For a loser, his posture was still decent. "Sophie, let's not get divorced, okay?" His eyes were blood red, whether from regret at misreading me or from the humiliation of bowing, I couldn't tell. "Leo, you're excellent at kneeling, but sincerity was never included. I once wanted to give you my heart, but I'm too smart to trade real for fake." "Soph, I mean it. I only ever saw Jade as a little sister. I just wanted a family so badly. I was wrong." "The man can spin anything," my late father would rise from his grave in fury. "Leo, you're clever but stingy." "Jade? She's probably just like you." I pulled up my chat history with Jade, all the way back to our very first meeting. Leo never imagined she and I had been in touch so early. When he saw her positive ultrasound, his eyes bulged. He, the father, hadn't known, yet I had. Terror finally flickered in his gaze. "Tell me. Jade was part of your trap too?" He forced the words out. He had invested real feeling in Jade, found in her the home he longed for. If even that was false, then Leo was pitiful indeed. I gave a cold laugh and offered no answer. Watching him slump to the floor, vacant and lost, I turned and walked away without hesitation. I speed-dialed Adrian. "Adrian, let's go, final battle." "At your service, my queen." 16 I strode into my own company with Adrian at my side. A seriously messed up thing to have to do. I'd tried more than once to court those old foxes in private, every time they just twirled me in Tai Chi circles. So I had to stab my own firm. Fine, it would also let me purge the stubborn rot. The boardroom was packed. The moment I pushed open the door, a senior shareholder pointed at me and roared, "You reckless girl, this is your father's company. You want to drive it into the ground? The Vance dynasty ends with you. Shut it, you fossils. Better I bury Vance than watch you lot drag it down. You backed Leo as if he were blood. Do you even remember who owns this place? Leo was your father's choice. We honored the colonel's wish. Huh, now you pass the buck? A bunch of fair-weather vultures, every last one of you. From this day on, Leo is no longer my husband and has zero to do with Vance. Anyone who objects, there's the door." Murmurs rippled, but no one moved. "I'm here to announce my succession to Leo's post." The room erupted. "A flighty socialite like you steering Vance? Over my dead body?" Adrian stepped forward. "Gentlemen, you may not know that Sophie is my company's true owner. Under the circumstances, I believe you'll find that enlightening. No need to choke on your pride," I added. "Rule of the jungle, strength wins. Here's my offer, anyone who can save Vance from this mess, I'll gladly yield the chair." I tossed them that poisoned olive branch, left with Adrian, and let the old eels thrash. Predictably, they schemed against one another, clearing plenty of nuisances for me. In the end nothing surfaced. I reclaimed the company without a hitch. Leo and his faction were swept out in one purge. Word is he still dreams of a comeback, but without capital what can he lean on? I don't even have to push, the industry tide will erase him all by itself. I merged Adrian's firm into Vance, amputated the rot, and watched the group grow stronger under our hands. After Leo's startup collapsed, he went back to Jade, begging for help. He never foresaw she could be colder than me. Jade had chosen me over Leo from the start. I promised her a payout, whether she kept the baby was her call. She's ruthless. She terminated the pregnancy. No man, no child, no chains. When Leo showed up she flashed the post-abortion photo, hitting him where it hurt, then walked away with the money to study abroad. These days she postcards me random scenery, strange girl. Adrian stayed on as my lieutenant. When he gets promoted to the final spot depends on performance. One day I asked why he's so loyal. Was it just the lifeline I threw him when the chips were down? He grinned like a thief, eased a yellowed photo from behind his phone case, and held it up, little me in pigtails. I'm duty-bound to my future wife, obviously. You knew all along.